I think when you look at drills for pitching, that you always want to try to repeat the correct movement. So when we talk about drills, and we've made up a lot out of necessity, but when you talk about drills, you're looking for something that's somewhat entertaining for the athlete, that they're going to enjoy doing because they're going to have to repeat it a lot, but also something that is going to put their body in the correct position over and over and over again and allow them to feel it so they're able to repeat those movements. So I think also in pitching, we try to do things, drills a lot of times, that are kind of practically strength training or speed training at the same time. So when you hook an athlete to a harness, or when you use weighted balls, over and under weighting balls, you're pitching the ball, you're in full motion with the harness or the balls, but you're adding a resistance or an assistance to that, and that's going to strengthen your body, also teach it to be faster. So those are real effective drills as well. When you look at a home run happening to a pitcher, and how do you respond to that? And I've had athletes, I had one of my athletes in particular who didn't give up a home run until she went to college. And you know, now the performance is so much higher, and I would like to say that in my day I was so good that people didn't hit home runs off, but actually the technology, the bats are hotter, the ball's hotter, you have more activity out there, so home runs are a reality. This particular player had never had a home run hit off her. She gets in college and someone hits the ball out, and she said, you know, I didn't even know what to do. She said, I didn't know if they were going to give me that ball back, if somebody was going to go get that ball, if somebody else was going to throw a ball in. She said, I had never thought of that. What happens next? But you know, that's part of it. You have to realize that's part of the game. It's just like somebody walking, getting a walk, or somebody getting a base hit. The ball goes out of the park sometimes. And certainly you try to strategically pitch to keep that from happening. If you're a drop ball pitcher, theoretically, you're going to give up a lot less home runs than a rise ball pitcher or curveball pitcher. So you can do some things to help yourself there, but you just have to take it. You kind of have to take it, look for the next ball coming in, and remember that the important thing is not what's behind you, but what's ahead of you, and that you address the next hitter and go forward. When you talk about slumps, or when you talk about leveling off, I think the best advice that you tell a player, first of all, is that everyone goes through it. You can turn on television, you can look at Major League Baseball players, you can look at Olympic or professional softball players. Everyone has had a slump. Everyone has leveled off at some period. And you know, that seems simple, but when you're 12, sometimes you think it's just you, and the world just ended because you haven't hit 10 times that you've tried. But I think first of all, if they realize that that's part of the game, that there are hills and valleys, and then secondly, I think that sometimes your training will be more important than other times. I think it's really important that it's steady, but when you get into those slumps, it's important that you have that good foundation, you're able to go back to your fundamentals, continue to work, and really keep a positive attitude, because it's going to go back up. You're gonna come out of it. In considering playing at a high level or a future for a female athlete in fast pitch softball, I think the days of picking up your glove in March or April and playing through August are over. You know, putting your glove aside and grabbing your basketball. I think that you can have multi-sport athletes, but if you are planning a future in a particular sport, you're to the point now where the competition level is high enough that you really have to be training year-round, and you have to be committed to that to some degree. And I think that goes in the sport of softball, it goes for all positions, but I think none more so than the pitchers. And that off-season time from September through January is really their greatest opportunity to improve, to make the greatest impact on the kind of pitcher they're going to be in the next season. That's when they'll add speed. That's when they'll kick in their strength training programs or a practical strength training program, whatever works for them. But they'll add a pitch, they'll learn a new pitch. And as they grow, they're automatically going to get naturally stronger. But I think the strength training programs are super important when you see females. And again, I relate everything to pitching, but there's so much importance on how fast you can spin the ball. And spin speed comes from the elbow down. It's all forearm strength. females are not naturally strong in their forearms. So for pitchers, it's crucial that you're doing something, whether it's practical or traditional strength training, but something to improve your strength overall, to add speed and to add spin speed to the softball.